Okay, and this next one, again, you can pause at any point to try these on your own, but it says 4 of a number. If I said, like, I take 4 of those, that would mean 4 times that amount. So we're taking 4 of a number. And if you look carefully up there, of usually implies, right here, of is multiplication usually. So it's saying I'm taking 4 of something. That's 4 times that number. So this will be 4x. And then I have to increase it. If you look carefully, increase is plus. And then 7 right there, so increase by 7. So I just wrote left to right. The next one, it says twice the total of a number and 3. So total is a setup word. There's total. Total sets up the word and to be plus. So I know I'm going to have plus, and usually when you have a setup word you can put it in parentheses. There's an unknown number first, so we'll call that x. And 3 is the second part, so there's the total of a number and 3. And I have to go twice that. So twice usually implies, if you look carefully, twice is times 2. So I'll put the 2 times on this side. So there's twice the total of a number and 3. Now the next one says 5. I know it's hard to read. Added to a number squared. All right, be careful. 2 is one of those words. If I read this exactly as it's stated, I'll need to take the 2 quantities on either side and flip them. So I'm going to have to take this number squared and move it to the left, and this 5 and move it to the right. Alright, so I know it's going to be 5, and I have a plus. Now, I don't know if we put squared up here, but maybe we need to add that, because we will have occasionally some exponents. So when you see a squared, maybe we should add something to our word wall called exponents. So when you hear the word squared, it means raised to the second power. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do a little caret. That little arrow up means squared. Or if it says cubed, that would mean caret 3. And then raised to, you just use a caret and raise it to whatever they tell you. Alright, so in this case I have to take a number squared, and the way you write a number squared is x squared. And that really has to do with the fact, the reason they call it squared is if you said 4 squared, 4 squared really means 16, and the reason they call it 4 squared is if you took a square that was 4 by 4 units. Let me just make a square really quick. Alright, so here's a square that's 4 by 4. It's got 4 units this way and 4 units this way. The area of that square is 16, so it's called 4 squared, 16. If you took something and said 2 cubed, it's because it would mean that you took a cube that is 2 by 2 by 2, and you'd be finding the volume. So if I made a cube that was 2 by 2 by 2, you can see I'd have 4 blocks in the top and 4 blocks in the bottom for a total of 8. So that's why they call it cubed, is it makes a cube of 2 by 2 by 2. And then that's why they call it squares, because it makes a square of 4 by 4, and then you find the area of that square. And we ran out of dimensions, so there's nothing to the fourth for that, unless maybe you could say hypercubed. Next one says 9 decreased by a number cubed. So perfect timing for that. Alright, so we have to, there's nothing to flip it around, because we didn't use the words then, from, or to, so we just go straight across. So 9 decreased by, and if you look up here carefully, decreased is right there, minus a number cubed. So we just talked about right there, if it's cubed, it means x raised up to the third power. Alright, number 15 says, Lori is 4 years younger than Sean. Write an expression that represents Lori's age in relation to Sean. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to basically write. That statement right there. 4 years younger than Sean. Alright, so first of all, I got the word then. So that means I'm going to have to flip the 2 quantities. And I'm not sure if I used younger up here, but younger is something that would suggest subtraction, like it's less, it's smaller. So it's just in context, so it's the same as saying less than. So 4 years less than Sean. Sean is unknown, because we're writing in relation to Sean, so Sean's going to become x. So we bring x to the front. Let me make that a different color. So let's make Sean blue. So Sean is going to be our unknown x. So I'll say x, and because I had the word then, I have to do 4. Because 4 is, I had to flip-flop the 2. Anytime you see the word then, so 4 years younger than Sean would suggest that Lori is x minus 4, where Sean is x. So maybe we should state that. Let x equal Sean's age. Okay, let's try another one of these contextualized problems. says Jennifer is 1 year older than twice Zach's age. Write an expression that represents Jennifer's age in relation to Zach. Okay, so again on this one, I'm trying to write this statement right here, 1 year older than twice Zach's age. So once again, they give us the word then. They're not letting up on us learning how to work with the then. So we're going to have to take the two quantities and flip them. All right, so first we're going to have to figure out how to write twice Zach's age. Now Zach's age is unknown, so we'll call it a variable. So in this case, why don't we let that be 2x. So I move 2x to the front. Then minus, I got to go, or sorry, it's plus actually this time, it's older, so I got to do plus. And it's 1, so it'll be plus 1. So in this case, we let Zach's age be x. X equals Zach's age. So we had to do 2 times Zach's age, 2x, and then we went 1 year older than that. All right, the next one. Jerry worked 2 hours less than 4 times as many hours as Katrina worked. Write an expression that represents the number of hours Jerry worked in relation to Katrina. Okay, so let's see if we can find what I'm working on here. So Jerry worked 2 hours less than 4. So 4 times as many hours as Katrina worked. So what's 4 times an unknown? That'll be 4x. And we just let x equal Katrina's hours Katrina worked, I should say, I guess. Hours Katrina worked. And I just went 4 times that amount. And now I got to go 2 less than that. So the less than meant subtract, and now I got to bring the 2 to the other side. That's what the arrow is doing here for the anytime you see the word then. So I'll put that 2 right here. All right, let me stop there and start the next video in just a second for the last page.